I think when you play for a big team, you always want to try to do better. We know the gap is really big. We have to win every game. We know that. We play for a big team, and we know we have to win every game.
You just do get the feeling watching Manchester United, they're sleepwalking into a top 4 race when it could have been so much more comfortable for them, dropping so many points in these last few weeks.
I feel like people talk about Manchester United never win the big games, but honestly, when we draw a game, nobody win against us. So I think, for example, we go Stamford Bridge, we want to win, of course, but we play away. We have to do much better, of course we have, but at the same time we don't lose. And don't losing away of home against a big team is not good, but is not the worst scenario, I think. Our mentality is going to every game to win the game. But sometimes you see it's not possible. We have to do everything to don't lose. If we draw the games 0-0, it's not Bruno don't score or Bruno don't assist. Nobody in the game assists or score. If the game is 0-0, so I know people is waiting, expecting Bruno score every game, assist every game, because when I arrived, I was playing really well. If you see my stats, everyone is thinking like Bruno have to score every game, Bruno have to assist every game, and I want to do that. If they look at the stats in the last few games against big teams, my accuracy on passing was good. I think just against Chelsea was not really good, and I agree in the last 2 games I didn't play really well. And I know that. I don't need to see the stats to see if I play well or not. I know when I play well or not. And I see an interview from Luke saying people now cares more about the stats than the performance. And this is the truth. Because now they are expecting from me just goals and assists and not performance. They don't care about the performance of Bruno. They don't care how many balls they recover, how many chances create. Because I can create 10 chances, but if you don't score, well, people will say Bruno don't play really well. In February, I have more goals than games, I think, or more involvement in goals than games. And people is saying Bruno is not playing well and blah, blah, because the past, nobody remember. They remember the moment I don't play well against Chelsea, I don't play well against Crystal Palace, so Bruno is inconsistent. Bruno is not having a good moment, Bruno is playing bad, Bruno has to do better, and I agree, because we always can do better, but sometimes I'm a little bit sad about people who knows about football saying so many things I don't agree, like talking about the moment when in the past some of them was players and they know football is not the moment, is not the past, and is not the future. It's all about all of this, past, moment, and future. So it's sad to see some stuff the people saying about the team, about my teammates, about me. But honestly, if the people want to complain about we don't score in the big games, we always draw, I prefer, they can say, is Bruno not play well? For me, it's okay. I can have that pressure on my back, and I'm sure in some moment I will score, I will assist, and I will perform, and I will help my teammates to win the games.
Well, I've no idea who these ex-players are that he's talking about.
Gary Neville, obviously.
What do you make of that, Roy? He's come out fighting.
Fighting? It was bizarre. A lot of nonsense there, wasn't it? Talking about a lot of stats. Just get on with being a footballer. And he talks about ex-players and pundits. I don't know why these players worry about pundits' opinion. Just get on with it. Just perform.
Did you ever think about it or listen to what people said?
When I was a player? Not really, no.
It's different though. Different now, Dave.
Why? Saying that, Mick.
So social media. Social media now. You could be having the best day in the world. You can go on Twitter and it can spoil you. And yeah,
do you think
Roy's
Bruno's
right.
doing that?
No,
do you think Bruno's sitting there?
Right. You should not be looking at that stuff. But at the end of the day, humans at the end of the day, you could be looking at something totally different, and your name pops up. And some people talking about. I can sympathise with Bruno because he's a top player and he's done really good things since he's coming here. Yeah, he's not won titles. He's not won anything.
Mick,
but
he's done brilliant. Nobody's saying he's not done well. He's done great, the lad. He's been brilliant. But if he's playing for Man United and he doesn't perform in certain games, obviously he's going to be criticised.
There's just that one accusation, isn't it?
I wouldn't be too worried about some of the draws. Again, you look at certain games. The Chelsea game, United done okay. Yeah, they could have done better. But it's just too many draws, and it's the West Brom draws. It's the slipping up at home to Everton last minute. They're the couple of results that aren't good for Man United if they want to win the league titles. Now, he's talking about trying to win a league title. He's never won one. So it's difficult for him. I don't think he's won a league title in his career, not at senior level. So he's obviously, it's all new to him. And he's right in a sense, when Man United play badly, he does get criticised, but other lads have to turn up as well. Of course, we can't just keep saying it's up to him. But he's a big player for him, and if he doesn't perform in the big games, he's going to be criticised, obviously.
That's the price in the ticket. You come for a big transfer fee, you're playing at United, you're scrutinised. People talk about Man United every single day of the week. He's a wonderful talent. The obvious criticism, he's not perceived to have done it against the big six.
We can show you the numbers. Let's have a look at the numbers, Graham, which backs up what you're saying and what others have said on the left-hand side against the non-big six on the right.
It's early to be critical of him, Dave. I think he's got qualities. He shows qualities which would tell me he's going to score goals against anyone he plays against.
Let me just add this then. The 10 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists. The 2 goals are both penalties. The 2 assists are both from free kicks. So the contribution the goal involvement has not been there from open play in these biggest games. You see the minutes per chances created is much more. Minutes per open play chance created, almost double.
Yeah, but in the big games...
Should we expect that?
Less
yeah, but when
chances,
in the big
possession.
games, they've kept clean sheets. And when you're a talented player like him, the players who play at the back and they have the 2 sit midfielders, their job is to make sure you don't lose the game. So they've done that in some of the big games. They've kept clean sheets. So that's a big positive. But for the attacking players, it's your job to go and win the games. That's your responsibility. That's why you're well paid. So don't get that upset. I don't know why they get upset with people giving an opinion about it.
It's gone too early on it. I mean, I think anyone who understands football sees a real talent in him. You know, I come back to the problem he's faced with is he plays for Man United. He came for a big transfer fee. If I was him, I'd just be keeping my own counsel, keep my head down, and I think he will end up scoring against the big clubs. I think he's an exceptional talent, and I also think, you know, you look for little indications of what type of boy he is. He was a captain at Sporting Lisbon when he was a young man, and that means he's in a dressing room with guys who are maybe 10 years older than him, 10 more years experienced than him, and they make him captain. I think that tells you a great deal about the boy himself.
But we've seen him, Graham, getting taken off in a few of the games, and his body language has not been great. And he can be a bit of... Sorry?
Being hooked? Would you
but you just make sure it doesn't happen. But Graham, there's not we've seen it with the Liverpool. There's not being taken off and shaking your head for 10 seconds. But if you're walking off and one of your teammates is coming off and you're throwing your arms up in the air, that's disrespectful to your teammate. And you're not about a leader.
You want to see that from your player.
If I was coming on,
if I was just shaking my head.
If I was coming on and the player was coming up and he was shaking his head, almost disrespecting as if I'm coming off for you, you'd have a quiet word of him in the dressing room. And he's done it a number of times. So he's on about maturity and defending his teammates. Well, show respect to your teammates. So when you do have a bad game, don't be throwing your arms up in the air every 2 minutes.
Which is quite... I find it disappointing. He gives it that when someone doesn't do something they should have done or they make a mistake, arms go. But I've worked in a Latin country. I get that. I get it. So it's not the end of the world. But I think he's got to get that out of his game playing here in the UK where he shows his disappointment.
But he keeps it up for 2 or 3 days.
He
keeps it up for 2 or 3 days.
He's frustrated that he believes they should be winning the title. And when he's playing with certain players in the team, not playing at the certain level that he's playing at, it's frustration.
Yeah, but it's up to him. The great players, if he wants to be a great player, really, the real top players make the other lads around him better. That's part of his responsibility.
I get that, but if you put Fernandes into Man City's team.
But he's not a Man City team
playing
now.
with all these great players.
He's not there.
But that's what I mean. But it's a hard job for him.
Of course it is.
To go to Man United with his talent. We all know his talent. We all agree on that. He's talented. But when you've got other players in the team not pulling your weight, we're putting up stats there about Fernandes. But
you could do Rashford as well.
Where's the rest of the team? It's not a one-man team. Yeah, he performs the best in that team. But it's not just about Fernandes.
It's a Man United problem. He is their best player. He is the most creative talent. He is their best player. But for the boy himself, just take it on the chin. You know, take the heat and get on with it. But I come back to it where I started. You play for Man United, you come for a big transfer fee, the expectation level goes through the roof. And that's his problem. But just accept it.
But is that the problem? We'll watch him today against Man City. That's it. It's all about what you do on the football pitch. And I know players are under pressure to do interviews and respond to criticism. Just get on with it. Don't be such a baby and focus on the game today and produce against a brilliant Man City team. End of story. And if he does well, we praise him. If he doesn't, then he better be ready.